The air was thick with anticipation as Reese Witherspoon took her seat on the Graham Norton Show, a setting typically known for lighthearted banter and celebrity charm. But what unfolded that evening was anything but ordinary. In a move that stunned both the live audience and viewers worldwide, the Legally Blonde star took a bold and unexpected stance, turning her sharp wit and unfiltered honesty toward none other than Prince Harry himself. The moment came suddenly. Witherspoon, usually the epitome of grace and diplomacy, did not hold back. "I just don't understand," she said, her tone measured but firm. "Being a royal isn't just about privilege. It's about duty. And somewhere along the way, it feels like Harry has lost sight of that. Love keeping up with the British royal family? Hit subscribe and never miss a moment of royal news." Gasps rippled through the audience. For a Hollywood A-lister, especially one known for staying out of controversial headlines, to make such a statement about British royalty was unprecedented. Even Graham Norton, a seasoned host used to handling controversial conversations, appeared momentarily speechless. Witherspoon's critique didn't stop there. She pointed to Harry's memoir, Spare, and his frequent media appearances, suggesting that his relentless public revelations had become more self-serving than courageous. "There's a fine line between telling your truth and making a spectacle of your family," she added. "And I think, at some point people start asking, what's the end goal here?" The studio remained eerily quiet, as if waiting for someone to break the tension. But no one did. The audience was clearly taken aback. After all, this was Reese Witherspoon, America's sweetheart, the woman whose name is synonymous with class, discretion, and integrity. If even she was speaking out, what did that say about how far Prince Harry's public image had fallen? The global backlash and support. As expected, the fallout from Witherspoon's comments was immediate and fierce. Social media erupted, with hashtags like #ReeseVersusHarry and #SpareOverkill trending within hours. Some hailed her as a voice of reason, arguing that she had simply articulated what many had been feeling for a long time, that the world was growing weary of Harry and Meghan's tell-all approach. "She's right," one Twitter user wrote. "At what point does this stop being about trauma and start being about cashing in?" Others, however, were quick to defend the Duke of Sussex. "Reese Witherspoon has no idea what it's like to grow up in that environment," a pro-Harry supporter fired back. "He's not just a royal, he's a human being. If he wants to share his experience, that's his right." But perhaps what made Witherspoon's critique so impactful was that she had no obvious stake in the game. Unlike outspoken royal commentators or British tabloid journalists, she wasn't someone who typically engaged in monarchy-related discourse. That made her words feel all the more genuine and all the more damning. Has Prince Harry gone too far? At the heart of Witherspoon's remarks lay a question that has lingered in public discourse for years. Where is the line between authenticity and oversharing? Harry's Spare memoir, released in 2023, sent shockwaves through the world with its deeply personal revelations. From the physical altercation with his brother William to shocking admissions about his drug use and even intimate details about his body, it was a level of exposure rarely seen from a former royal. Initially, many sympathized. They saw him as a man breaking free from the constraints of royal life, finally able to speak his truth. But over time, public sentiment shifted. The countless interviews, Netflix docuseries, podcasts, it all began to feel excessive. Was this still about truth-telling? Or had it become a brand? Even some of Harry's past supporters began to grow uneasy. Oprah Winfrey, who famously conducted his and Meghan's bombshell interview in 2021, subtly distanced herself from the couple in later years. Polls showed a decline in his popularity, both in the UK and the US. And now, Witherspoon's remarks had thrust the debate back into the spotlight. The bigger cultural conversation. Beyond the immediate royal drama, Witherspoon's critique tapped into a much broader cultural conversation. How much is too much when it comes to personal disclosure? The digital age has blurred the boundaries between public and private life. Celebrities, influencers, and even ordinary individuals feel pressured to share their most intimate experiences with the world. But as Witherspoon subtly implied, there's a cost to that. For Prince Harry, the cost has been profound. His relationships with his father, King Charles, and his brother, Prince William, are reportedly strained beyond repair. British tabloids portray him as a traitor to the monarchy. Even in the US, where he and Meghan sought refuge, they have struggled to maintain the public's goodwill. And now, as this latest controversy unfolds, one has to wonder, is this the moment where Prince Harry's story stops being one of escape and starts being one of regret? Reese Witherspoon, a symbol of discretion. The irony of this moment is that Reese Witherspoon herself represents everything Prince Harry seems to be struggling with: grace under scrutiny, discretion in the face of fame, and a careful balance between personal truth and professional integrity. Witherspoon has been one of Hollywood's most powerful women for decades, yet she has never aired out her family grievances for the world to see. Even through a very public divorce and legal battles, she has remained composed, choosing to tell her story through her work rather than endless interviews. Perhaps that's why her words about Prince Harry hit so hard. They didn't come from a place of malice, nor did they feel like an attack. Rather, they felt like the advice of someone who understands the game of fame, and who sees a once-respected figure playing it all wrong. What happens next? Witherspoon's remarks may fade from the headlines, but the questions they raise will not. Will Prince Harry continue down this path of public exposure? Or will he take a step back, recognizing that the world is no longer as captivated by his revelations as it once was? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: when even someone as reserved as Reese Witherspoon feels compelled to speak out, it's a sign that the tide is turning. And for Prince Harry, that should be the loudest wake-up call of all.